Imagine this. You're on a tropical island in the middle of World War II. It's hot. The air smells like salt and smoke. You're a U.S. Marine, far from home. And tomorrow, you might be heading into battle. But tonight, it's Christmas Eve, 1944. What do you and your fellow Marines decide to do? Believe it or not, you play a football game. And not just any game. This match would go down in history as the legendary Mosquito Bowl. Welcome to Believe It or Not, the show where weird is real and the truth is stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Bryan, and today's story is about one of the most unforgettable football games ever played. Not in a stadium, but on a battlefield. Our story happened on the island of Guadalcanal in the Pacific during World War II. 2 Marine regiments were stationed there, waiting for their next orders. Many of the men were former college football players back in the United States. They were tough, athletic, and itching for something to distract them from the stress of war. So, on December 24th, 1944, they decided to organize a football game. They called it the Mosquito Bowl, partly because Guadalcanal was crawling with mosquitoes, and partly as a play on the famous Rose Bowl back home. The teams were made up of Marines from the 4th and 29th Regiments. These weren't just casual players. Some had played for big schools like Notre Dame, Wisconsin, and UCLA. One Marine, Captain George Murphy, had even been drafted by the Chicago Bears. The Marines built a makeshift football field right there on the island, marking the boundaries with whatever they could find. Hundreds of fellow Marines gathered to watch. Imagine the noise, cheering, laughing, the sound of boots pounding the field, all while the war loomed just beyond the horizon. The game itself? Brutal, hard hits, fast runs, and plenty of mud. The 4th Regiment dominated, beating the 29th with a final score of 19-0. But it wasn't about the score. It was about hope, teamwork, and a taste of home when home felt so far away. Sadly, many of the men who played in the Mosquito Bowl would be sent into battle at Okinawa, and some would never return. That's why the game is remembered, not just as a moment of fun, but as a powerful piece of history. Now here are a few fun facts about the Mosquito Bowl. The Mosquito Bowl was played without pads or proper uniforms. Just helmets and grit. Also, historians believe at least 65 Marines who played or watched the game later lost their lives in the war. So this may have been the final highlight of their lives. And last, a book called The Mosquito Bowl by Buzz Bissinger tells the full story of their players and their legacy. Oh yeah, and the field where they played? It's now an overgrown jungle. Now it's your turn to think about the story. What do you think it meant to those Marines to play a football game on Christmas Eve, knowing they were in the middle of a war? Also, do you think sports can bring people together, even in the toughest times? And here's one more question for you. If you only had one day to feel normal during a scary time, what would you choose to do? That's today's story, The Mosquito Bowl, the most unforgettable football game ever played in a war zone. Next time on Believe It or Not, we'll dive into the world of shipping. In the 1950s, a man named Malcolm McLean had a brilliant idea. Put cargo into big containers so it could be loaded onto ships faster and cheaper. That one transformation made a huge impact on global trade. And today, nearly 90% of everything you own traveled in a container before it reached you. Until then, keep wondering, keep learning, and remember, sometimes the truth is weirder than fiction.